At Heirloom Roses out in St. Paul, they're always doing something in their rose gardens, and I'm here with Chris, and we're going to be showing you how to plant roses. Now, the principle for planting roses is really the same. You guys have this smaller pot here, which we're planting today, but the idea is going to be the same no matter what size container you're planting.
A good plant starts with a good hole.
Yeah, and so now what did you first do? Okay, you come out here, there's this space you're going to put a rose in. What's the first thing you did?
Dug out a 2-foot by 2-foot hole, 2 foot deep, 2 foot each direction. Removed the soil out of it, and here we actually ran into a bit of a problem with some clay. So what we've done is actually put 3 inches of gravel in the bottom to help it from waterlogging or standing water in your plant. And then actually did a layer of composted steer manure, and then a mixture of a nice potting soil and the soil that had came out of the hole on top.
Now, Chris, show them here. This center pile here is actually what you dug out. So if you're wondering if you have clay soil, you can see how tight it is.
Yeah.
And it really just sticks. I mean, it just doesn't fall apart at all.
It doesn't.
And it's great soil, very nutritious, but roots can't extract oxygen or minerals from it. So you're putting in, you said composted steer manure.
Yep.
A little bit of potting soil, which is what you have in this pile here. You've already mixed a little bit of that in.
It's loosened it up quite a bit.
And it really
just by doing
does.
that.
Yeah, it makes it a lot looser. So once all of that is done, and it looks like you have the hole almost backfilled a little bit with that. And then what are you going to go do?
Actually, what I'm going to do now that I've got my hole just about ready is actually plant the rose.
And there's really no, I mean, people are so worried about taking plants out of pots, but you really just have to gently kind of tug and pull, and eventually they come out.
Yep, they'll come right out of the pots usually. You want to loosen the soil up a little around the base. Root ball there. And then actually got everything pretty much ready, so we're just kind of going to put that right there.
Now I noticed that you backfill the hole, but then you also left a little bit of space to fill in, and you didn't really dig very deep down into that hole.
No, because I'm actually going to mound up slightly on this plant because it's going to sink over time.
Sure.
With the new soil in there, it's actually going to sink down, so I'm going to actually want to have a bit of a mound going when I'm done.
Nice, nice. And so let's backfill that little thing up there. You're just using your hands. Now I noticed that I'm pretty sure that all of your roses that had Heirloom Roses are on their own rootstock, right?
They are.
But there's a little bit of difference if you're buying a rose that's grafted. What would you do differently about that?
Grafted rose, kind of similar, is you want to actually get it out there, but you don't want to mound it up like you would an own root rose.
You don't want to cover the graft.
You don't want to cover the graft. You want to kind of bring it up equal with that. And you may need to do a little fill as it settles in, but you really don't want to cover up that graft because...
Which is one of the great things about Heirloom Roses is they are on their own rootstock, which really, in a bad winter, if your roses die down, what a great thing, because when they come back, they'll come back as the rose you planted, not as the graft of the rootstock.
Exactly, exactly. They always come back true to type, and they're also a lot more hardy because they are on their own roots.
Yeah. Well, Heirloom Roses, I think, is just one of the premier places for information on roses. If you have any other questions, we certainly invite you to go to gardentime.tv, and we'll click you over to their website. They have driving instructions on how to get out here. And, it's not going to be very long before all of these are going to be in bloom. It's always beautiful. Thanks so much, Chris.
Thank you.